The rain had just started when she arrived. Not in torrents, just enough to blur the streetlights and dampen footsteps. Karen Doyle, president of the HOA, walked toward my apartment building like she owned it. She clutched a thin metal key on a chain, swinging it in deliberate rhythm, every step echoing the kind of confidence only power, or delusion, could produce. Witnesses said she didn't knock. She tried the master key first. The moment the lock resisted, she actually looked offended. As if doors were supposed to obey her. She tried again, turning the knob sharply, whispering something under her breath. People passing in the hallway paused. One neighbor asked if she needed help. Karen ignored them, stared at the door, and said, "This key opens everything." But it didn't. It failed. That was the first crack in her performance. Her face tightened. Control was slipping from her fingers, and she hated that more than anything. Security cameras caught her next move. She dialed 911, not because there was danger. She fabricated danger. "I am being denied access for emergency inspection," she announced to dispatch, as though reciting a practiced line. But dispatch didn't send just anyone. My son, badge number CID 047, was closest to the area. He had just been promoted. He was proud, focused, and unaware that this call would change everything. He arrived at the building with caution, unaware of the address, only the report. Karen greeted him in the hallway with forced relief. "Thank God you're here," she said. "The tenant is refusing entry. I have legal authority to inspect for safety issues. My son asked to see documentation." Karen faltered for a split second. Then she smiled. "I don't need paperwork. I have the master key." The moment he stepped toward the door, his expression changed. He saw the unit number. He saw the nameplate. He read his own last name. And realization hit him like a silent explosion. This wasn't just a call. This was home. Karen saw the shift in his eyes. She tried to recover. "Are you going to help me open it?" she asked with a tone that teetered between command and plea. But something had unraveled. In that moment, the authority she wore like armor began to look like costume. My son stood still. Analysis replaced reaction. His training took over, but his pulse did not obey. He knocked on the door softly, voice steady. "Sir, this is CID. Are you inside?" I opened it slowly. Our eyes met. A frozen second passed where father and son shared something neither could speak out loud. This wasn't just an investigation. It was intrusion. It was personal. And Karen was caught between us, no longer in control. Her master key dangled uselessly in her hand. And in her silence, we heard something dangerous, not anger, not guilt. It was desire to be noticed. And that was the beginning of something far darker than trespassing. The interrogation room was painted in silence, gray walls, a single light swinging faintly from the ceiling, casting slow-moving shadows over the table where Karen sat. She didn't look frightened. She looked offended that she had been brought in at all. My son entered slowly, badge clipped to his vest, but his heart beat louder than protocol allowed. He didn't reveal that I was his father. Not yet. He needed to stay the officer, not the son. That was harder than any training had prepared him for. Karen tapped her nails on the metal table in a slow rhythm, like she was marking territory. The camera began recording. He started with standard procedure, tone composed. "State your reason for entering the property without consent." Karen smirked. "I don't need consent. It's HOA protocol." But her voice cracked on that last word. My son noticed. He leaned forward just an inch, not enough to intimidate, but enough to signal that her performances wouldn't work here. She crossed her arms. "Do you know what it's like to manage people who don't respect order? Rules exist for a reason." He replied calmly, and rules also protect people from unwanted intrusion. So tell me, what did you really want in that apartment? That was when the silence changed shape. Karen stopped tapping. Her eyes drifted away from him, toward the door. For the first time, she looked smaller. You don't understand, she whispered. No one listens to me when I'm polite. No one cares unless they're scared. She said it softly, like she wasn't confessing a crime, she was confessing loneliness. My son recognized it instantly. Not because he learned it from textbooks. But because he had seen the same look once, in a mirror, after losing someone he cared about. That's the dangerous nature of pain, it recognizes itself. Karen kept talking, but the tone shifted. She wasn't defending herself anymore. She was revealing herself. I walk those halls every night. Everyone shuts their doors the moment they see me. I give notices, warnings, reminders, they treat me like I don't exist. She laughed bitterly. So if I make them afraid, at least they see me. At least I exist. She paused. Then her voice fell to a whisper. And your father always greeted me. Always looked at me. I thought maybe, the sentence faded out, but the meaning stayed. My son felt something twist inside him. Professional distance dissolved. Emotional truth entered the room. He slowly pulled out a photo ID of the property owner. My face. He placed it on the table. Karen's eyes widened, but not in guilt. In heartbreak. The reality struck her, her desperate need to be noticed had crossed into obsession. She didn't break down, she didn't shout. She simply stared at the picture like it was something that could still love her back. No one intends to become the villain, she murmured. They just grow tired of being invisible. The recording stopped. But the case didn't. They released her at 2:03 a.m. The paperwork was signed, the restraining order filed, and the hallways of the precinct fell quiet. My son watched her go, not with anger, but with a feeling he couldn't name. He told himself it was simply procedure, concluding. But it didn't feel like an ending. It felt like something was just beginning, and no law on paper could stop it. The apartment door was reinforced the next morning. New locks. Security camera. Double latch inside. My son insisted on it. He spoke little at breakfast, hands wrapped around a mug that had gone cold without him noticing. Outside, the clouds shifted in slow formations like they were tracking an unseen movement. Something about the air felt watched. Days passed. Or maybe they crawled. Hard to tell. The restraining order felt like a shield made of glass, visible, yet so easy to break with a single decision. I changed my routines. Closed the blinds earlier. Let the microwave beep longer before checking it. Safety changed the way we lived, but not the way she thought. Because safety is a locked door. Obsession is the knock that returns. It happened 4 nights later. Time, 2:13 a.m. exactly. A sound on the door. Not violent. Just one knock. Not enough for legal action. Enough for psychological warfare. My son got up instantly, he'd been awake. He didn't go to the door. He stood in the hallway and listened. Then, slowly, he walked to the peephole. No one was there. That was somehow worse than seeing her. He kept watching. Breathing steady. Until the knock happened again. Once. Soft. Almost polite. He opened the door. Nothing. No one. But the scent of lavender lingered. Karen used lavender perfume. He noticed it during interrogation, the kind people wear when they don't want to look lonely. He closed the door again. And this time, he locked it with sudden fear, as if that act could stop her from being real. But fear doesn't erase people. It carves a space for them in the mind. She stayed there. The cameras caught nothing that night. Not even a shadow. Just empty hallway and the timestamp glowing like a heartbeat, 2:13 a.m. That became a ritual. Once a week. Same time. Same knock. Never repeated twice. Never forceful. Just, there. My son never reported it. Not officially. He wrote it down in his own private log. Case closed. Incident continuing. One evening he confessed something that unsettled me. He said, "Dad, she never tried to break in again. I think she was done trying to be feared." I asked what he meant. He looked at the door. Then at me. And finally at the window. "When she knocks now," he said, "it doesn't sound like a threat. It sounds like someone waiting for an answer." That night, neither of us slept. Sometimes fear and sympathy begin to look the same. Sometimes obsession and affection wear identical faces. And sometimes, even with all the locks in the world, a heart still opens. Case, completed. Emotion, ongoing.